It's the Chick Show. It's the Chick Show.
It's the Chick Show.
Oh man, everybody. So here we are, episode 52. I I'm gonna be real honest. I'm a little surprised we're here. I mean, I just know who I am. And there are times when you know, I've got a great idea and I'm excited about something and it lasts about, I don't know, 6 months, and then I'm on to something else. My brain just doesn't um long term like this. Yeah, I've been married 27 years. Gosh, that's easy when you're married to a wonderful woman like Jennifer, and you have great kids, and everything's going fantastic. So, God bless that, right? But I just want to do a quick year end wrap, and not a wrap. Yo, I, I'm not gonna spit it. I'm gonna let Marquise McClendon do that, man. I'll let the professionals do what the professionals do. I just wanted to run down where we've been, where we've come from. Some of you are so incredibly loyal that I just can't believe it. So I'm super excited. Thank you for listening in. Like I said, 52nd episode. You know, we're closing in on 8,000 downloads, and I sure didn't expect that. I've got some great followers. I've had some incredible feedback, and starting with episode one, who am I? You know, just kind of explaining who I am, and some of you grabbed on and kept following me, and then we look at a few of my favorite things, and I had so many messages talking about that, and just kind of going through the things that I get excited about in life. And I'll tell you, I've got a new one to add to my favorite things, and that's just my podcast listeners, all my shickheads, you guys. And that was from a listener. So I appreciate you guys being a part of this ride and listening in and giving your feedback and participating. I've got so many listeners that have been on. I can't wait to have some more. We've got some great guests coming up. Just going through my list and looking at what's coming this year. There are some fantastic folks that are already locked in to come on the Chick Show. We're starting a new 30-minute episode every Wednesday, and it'll just be me and Steve Hurd talking. We can't stay on topic for more than a couple minutes, so it's hard for me to put it out as like an hour and a half broke up episode. I mean, we talk for 3.5 hours when we get together. It's absolutely exhausting, but I, man, I'm so excited, dude. Pet peeves with Tommy Simpson. I can't wait to have Tommy back on. That's happening. School year's getting ready to wrap, and Tommy's got an opportunity with the summer. That guy is so committed to his craft that through the school year, it's impossible. It's impossible to get with him. He is committed to his craft. He is on point 182-ish days a year with what he does for kids. Just an incredible teacher, multiple Teacher of the Year winner. That guy was just absolutely incredible. If you haven't listened to that one, go back and check that out. Tommy's incredible. Then we move on to consumption, and you're listening to this. So you're getting some great stuff, some incredible people being on, some great stories, just life lessons that, I don't know how to share other people's stories without them being here and getting it from their mouths, from regular people like me and you. How cool is that we can listen to others, we can chronicle what others have been through, the successes, the failures, the wins, the losses, the ups and downs, the just struggles that some have come back from, some that are still in. So just what do you listen to? What are you being a part of? And then why did I do this? And I think about, why did I do this? I had to reconnect with that. I had to reconnect with why I'm doing this, and remember that it's about getting those stories out, about sharing life lessons with others. It's about being able to share in the struggle of life with one another, being a part of one another's journey and learning something from others, sharing something so someone else doesn't have to go through, what we've been through, what others have been through, or if they are, knowing that they're not alone. And that's the biggest thing, is knowing that we're not alone. We have someone. There is someone that is willing and able to be with you in your time of need. And that's why I do this. And I even needed a reminder of that. And along comes a couple listeners and sharing with me that they love listening to the show, and it kind of rejuvenated me here towards the end of this season. And I'm so thankful for that. Trish Blakely was one. I saw her out at her workplace, and she was like, "Man, I love listening to the show." And I'm like, "Really? Like, there's people listening to the show. I had no idea. I don't see who all listens to the show." So, man, thank you guys for listening in. It does keep me motivated. It keeps me going, and it keeps the stories coming. And I love a great story. I love a great story. Speaking of that, a moment with Debbie. I caught her in here, and she come up to the studio, her and Jennifer and I, and she sits down in the guest chair. And when you sit down in the guest chair, I'm hitting the record button. Just know it. That's going to happen. This thing is live all the time. So I think Prince used to do that. He was like recording. Not that I'm Prince. Well, anyway, yeah, it's a hot mic moment, man, all the time. And so be prepared. You come in, you sit down, and it's game on. I don't have a B game, folks. And speaking of not having a B game, Dalton Willman, gosh, that guy, he got me motivated. He starts running because of some kind of military challenge going on. I can't remember what it was now. It's been a while. But next thing you know, he's running marathons, going all over the country. Well, I don't know about all over the country. I guess all over the eastern part of the country, to Boston, Charlevoix, Michigan, and down to Alabama, I think he ran. This guy's running all over the place. It's like Forrest Gump. It's like, well, I just ran and I kept running. Now, I don't know if he's ever going to get tired. I know I get tired. Man, he got me excited, though. Thinking about the things that Dalton is doing got me motivated to run, got me excited about my health. And I continue to run. Just ran a 5K a couple weeks ago over at Muncie for the Bob Ross Run for the Trees. And didn't hit the time I wanted, but man, I tried. And that's the biggest part of that. So, dude, he went out and ran the Boston again this year. I know he didn't reach the goal he wanted, but man, he was there. He went through it. He put himself in that position to give it a shot, and that's what we want to do. Next episode was "Are You For Real?" And that's kind of the same thing. Are we being authentic? Are we being ourselves? Are we being true to who we are and playing that person in everything we do? And I know we all play a different role. You go to work, you've got a different role you have to play. You go to a friend's house that you don't quite know that well, you play a little bit of a role. But we still have to be true to who we are. We still have to be authentic in order for us to have our best life. And that's what that was all about. Just giving everybody a gut check real quick. Are you being for real? Are you being who you think you want to be? Are you trying to be the best version of yourself? And then we moved to Travis Jester's story. He's a recovery coach and addiction and recovery. Man, you talk about just a powerful episode. And what a great voice. That guy, like, there's a few people that's been on the show where I'm like, dude, I wish I had that voice to project my message. But Travis is an incredible guy. Thank you for sharing your story, Travis. And if you see him out and about, give him a high five, tell him thanks that you got something from his show. He was just incredible. Saw him. Well, we were at the same show over the summer. We went to Louder Than Life. He went down there to see Tool, and my wife and I were there. And we both end up really close to the stage in this massive, 70,000 people or something. It was a great, great concert. What an incredible band, incredible show. Teach Like a Rock Star with Hal Bowman. That guy, you talk about energy level. He's doing some incredible things. He's out of Texas. He's an educator. He's also an educator coach. Speaking of coaches, man, it was like 3 in a row right there. I'm just looking at 4 in a row, right? Or almost 5. Holy crap. It was like a coach succession. That's incredible. And so it went from Travis Jester, recovery coach, to Hal Bowman, teacher coach, to Randy Seahigh, teaching, coaching, and mentorship. Scott Love, who has been helping kids learn to play guitar and been involved in coaching with basketball at the Blackford High School. And then Tony Ugan, not long after that. Steve Hurd was after there. He was a coach. Dan Grill's a coach for the assistant coach for the girls basketball program. Holy moly. That was like all in a row. I didn't realize that. But Randy Seahigh, incredible individual. This guy just giving it up. Incredible teacher, incredible coach, and most importantly, an incredible human being. Love that guy and learned so much from him. And I'm thankful for him coming on and sharing his story and what he does and his passion for football and teaching. It's quite evident. I went out to a softball game a few weeks ago, and there he is after track practice, and he's coaching some kids up, throwing a football out on the football field. Grass is like 6 inches high. I don't know why they keep it that long during the summer. I'm sure there's a reason, but anyway, Scott Love comes on after that, talking about competitive eating. I just saw another thing that was talking about gut health and the competitive eater guy we were talking about on there. Now I can't remember his name, of course. You can tell how much note taking I do to get ready for these types of episodes. But Kobayashi, that's his name. Kobayashi was on this gut health documentary that I think is on Netflix, and he was talking about the damage that he's possibly done to his body through competitive eating. Didn't even recognize the guy. He's not all muscle beached anymore, and he had like long ponytails. It was really interesting. Seems like a really interesting character. But hey, oh, I got a text. I need to turn that off, brother. How's that happen? See, that's what I'm talking about. There's not much editing going on here. There we go. There it is. Now we're done. But so then we move on to Chris Seacrest, and man, how many times do you get to just sit down and talk to a 14-year-old for, we talked for a little over an hour just about him, talked about his life, talked about things he was going through. We got a chance to see inside the mind of a 14-year-old. And man, I'd love to follow up with Chris sometime this season, just see how things are going and check in on him. I'm sure some of you would love to hear about, how his freshman year of high school went. What a transitional time, right? So I'm putting Chris on the list. We're gonna follow back up. Then I got to talk to Tony Ugan, and always talking to Tony Ugan's a great time. And man, we went short. We were under 2 hours. I don't know that I've ever had a sit down conversation with Tony that lasted less than 4 to 6. Uh, But that guy, he's coaching it up. He's coaching baseball this year and has for a number of years. They're having a decent season, and I think they're 13-4 this time. Lost a tough one at oh man, where were they at? Maybe Cass. Lost a tough game with some errors and stuff going on. But man, Tony's such a great guy. So much to learn from him. Always a great time to talk to Tony and learn from Coach. So I'm super excited. Finding a lost sibling with Steve Hurd. The whole lost sibling thing kind of put me in the groove of looking into my own ancestry story. And I want to thank Steve for that. Thanks, Steve, for kind of pushing me in that direction. With your story of finding your brother and learning, reconnecting with him. So hopefully Steve and I will be talking about that on our Wednesday podcasts, and we'll be able to catch up on some of this stuff. I can't say enough about Dan Grill. This guy, ping pong or table tennis, the pickleball predicament. Dan Grill and I just jabbering on about silly stuff, trying to make each other laugh, but not letting each other make us laugh. That is the story of the past 4 or 5 years that I've known Dan. And I just, I love that guy. He always talks about me as his mentor. He was my mentor. I learned way more from him than he ever could have possibly learned from me. That guy's an incredible educator. Once again, an incredible human being. And I'm thankful to have got to spend time with him, working for him, and learning alongside him. What a great person to be, um, just supervising and mentoring and teaching kids and coaching. Um, if you get a chance, check that episode out. Dan's just a fantastic guy. Speaking of fantastic guys and somebody who's been through it, Brian Blevins. Oh, Lord God, guys. Another classmate. Brian and I graduated together. This guy in this episode, Saving Lives with Brian Blevins, he literally is saving the life of someone who is in an active overdose situation. You have got to listen to this. I'd seen him post something about it on Facebook, reached out to him, and like the next, maybe later that day, the next day, he's at my house and we're talking about him. It just, you know, one of those situations in life where you are, God puts you in the right place at the right time. If y'all are a believer, that's one of those scenarios where he is helping another recovering addict in that moment, sees a situation, recognizes it from his own experience that something is not right here, acts quickly, and saves someone's life through the Narcan, um, giving them Narcan. You move forward with Lisa Felver. I've heard so much about this sode from so many people, how it's impacted them. It impacted me. Lisa, I want you to know that in combination with Dalton's and your story, it motivated me to take better care of myself, to get out and run, and to start becoming more active in my life. That was in August of last year, maybe September. And like a month and a half, 2 months later, I'm running my first 5K ever and completing it. Um, Ran all of it at about 4 steps of that stinking thing. Man, Lisa, what a great story. Folks, go back and listen to You Move Forward. And I'm going to jump ahead because she came back and told the other side of the story of, the what's next piece. And it was the You Move Forward with Lisa Felver. Make sure you check that out. It's kind of a part 2 of that one. Just some great stuff. Be prepared. Get some Kleenex. You're going to need it. You're going to need some Kleenex on that one. Wild Ass Sunday with Pastor Gary Hall. Just a guy who has lived an incredible life, has a great story, great message there, and his approach to his delivery of his faith to others and sharing that, trying to help deliver you know people to the Lord, and man, so much fun. And we have so much more to talk about. We didn't even touch on hunting. We didn't even touch on his knives. We didn't even touch on, man, we got so much more to talk about. Princess Diana conspiracy with Amber Schick and Joe Schick. Man, you talk about how cool it is to be able to just hang out with your family and to connect with a niece and your brother. And Joe and Amber jumped on, and I knew Joe was a big fan of Princess Diana, and Amber is a conspiracy person. And here's little old me, the pot stirrer, just trying to get him riled up. I don't know that I got him as riled up as I wanted to, but boy, I tried. It's like they knew the mic was on. I'd love to get them without the mic, knowing the mic's on. That would be so much fun. Folks, living life with cancer and Fred Hoffman. We lost Fred this year. What an incredible, incredible human being. Fred, wonderful man, wonderful family man, wonderful community member, community leader. And he wasn't going to be stopped. Nothing's stopping him. And he fought hard through his journey and fight with cancer, and eventually succumbed to it. But Fred, we love you, brother, and hope we're all doing you proud, my man. Thanks for coming on and sharing your story. This is when I go back to why did I do this, Fred is a great example. We get to hear Fred's voice forever, or as long as this stuff stays out there. Who knows how long the internet is a thing and people listen to this stuff, but it's there, it's available. And I think about, if I have grandkids, or if I have friends or something, if something were to happen, eventually I'm going to pass. I mean, it's part of the deal, but they're going to be able to hear me forever. It's out there. My stuff is out there. My voice is out there, and they'll be able to hear it. And Fred, we'll all get to hear you tell your side of the story and share in your, we get to share in your life in that way, my man. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for sharing with us. After him, once again, another coach. I guess I've got this whole coaching thing going on. Had a key to a great golf swing with Erica Wyckoff. Erica is such an incredible person and had an incredible life, an incredible journey, kind of out there in the beginnings of a sport that was, I don't know. It sounds like it was a little bit of a fledgling league, the LPGA at that time. And here they are getting out there and just trying to get to that next event to continue doing what they love to do. And Erica got to do that and still continues to. She's still coaching golf. And man, I'm going to get some golf swing lessons from Erica this year. I'm going to make that a point of emphasis for what I do. Cheering on the Air Force Academy with Scott Winger. Man, lesson. Number one, you get to go to the Air Force Academy. Two, you get to become a cheerleader at the Air Force Academy and travel to all these different events. One of a very few that gets to be a Division I athlete. I mean, if you look at cheerleading, you say that they aren't Division I athletes. I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what part of that you're missing. You look at the athleticism of the women and the men that are cheerleaders, even at the high school and Division I, Division II, any collegiate level, they are athletes. I'm not even, it's not even worth arguing. Scott, thanks for everything, brother. And thank your family too. Like, there's so many, your mom, dad, uncles, aunts, and grandparents. I mean, there's so many in that line, that lineage. What a great family story that is. And speaking of family stories, my cousin Angie Toby Wyatt came on and she talked about being adopted. I learned something new. We learn something new every day, I guess. And this is one I learned. I didn't know there was like a twice adopted thing. And, man, I love Angie. Angie, I love you. And one of my first best friends, along with Jason Jones, and just getting to sit down with her, it was a struggle. Dude, such a struggle. Get out the tissues on this one. I was crying. I couldn't even talk at one point. I'm like waving at her, like, just, you gotta stop talking. And we got through it, but check that out. That was, man, you talk about, like, when I think about some of my favorite episodes, I love them all, but that one was by far one of my favorite sit downs that I've had. Next one was Food Fight. I Ain't Having It with Darren McDermott and Jennifer Sparks, two of my favorite people in the world. Darren has been there for me through so many things, and we were able to reconnect and sit down for a couple hours, and through that we recorded about an hour and a half of just talking about our weight loss struggles. Man, it was like all these things we could have talked about, and we're talking about our weight loss struggles. But it's relevant, right? I mean, it's what friends do. We talk about stuff and try and help each other out. Man, you did. You helped me out. I was able to get through some struggles with some things, and that was, man, I love you guys. This is the Lisa Felver returns. You move forwarder. Folks, jump on board with this sode. You need to be listening in. She shares the next steps of how she, is moving forwarder with her life after the loss of a spouse, the love of her life, and she continues to live hers. And we're allowed to live our lives after the loss of a loved one. And Jennifer and I have expressed that to one another. Something were to happen to us, live your life, enjoy your life. Man, I appreciate your love for me, but I love you in a way that I'm sacrificing whatever guilt, you have permission. And I think that's what she has done. She's given herself permission to live her life, and I appreciate that. And speaking of permission to live your life, Corby Roberson, man, lady, what? Come on. What a great story. Incredible educator, by the way. Once again, we're on that teacher thing. But Corby comes and shares her story, her out story, and wanting to help others who maybe having the same emotions, the same experiences, and to help them just overcome and push through and live that life that they deserve, that happiness that they so deserve. Thank you, Corby, for coming on. I can't wait to have you back on too. You're going on the list. History of rock and roll as we know it with Scott Love. You know, YouTube wouldn't let this one air, but I'm going to tell you all about it. We talk about some different music. We talk about where rock and roll comes from, and we just kind of took a deep dive. It went a little bit longer than either one of us expected. Steve Hurd will be telling you. He was like, man, there was that one guy, like, he couldn't remember Scott's name, but he was like, he was like, he was done. I said, yeah, I think he was. I just kept holding on to him. I wouldn't let him leave. Sorry, Scotty. But man, I got to get you back in here too, brother. Joker Cycle works with Jeremy Valentine. You know, nothing like catching up with an old friend, somebody you grew up with, have some incredible childhood memories with, and see the wonderful things that Jeremy is doing. And to learn some things, man. There was some really cool stuff in there. This guy's living an incredible life. So much to be proud of. Man, I think it was the Cycle Source chopper of the year down at Daytona. And if I get that wrong, I'm so sorry, man. Like I said, I just sit down and decided this is what we're doing for this week. And but Jeremy, keep on killing it, brother. We appreciate you. Blackford County history blathering with JD Beckley. Can't wait to get JD back in here. Baseball season's in full swing, so I know he is busy as a cat covering up crap. Boy, we got to talk about some Blackford County history, some incredible people that have come through, some incredible things that have happened in Blackford County, how it has become this little third largest county in the state. Carved out from a couple others. So just really interesting. You know, earlier I mentioned the Schick story of ancestry and the ancestry.com and just kind of talking about where I come from, how the Schick family has come to be, and the things that I learned through that after my dad's passing. Man, why does this have to happen after all these folks that know the story are gone? Ask those questions, guys. Ask those questions. Just sit down with your people and ask questions. Find out about their story. Get them in a chair, man. Just go out and have a beer with them. Go out and sit around a fire with them, whatever. But find out what that story is. Pete Lentz, dude, gosh, man. Thank you, Dr. Turley. And once again, a former teacher, Dr. Turley, who we lost recently in the past year. And Pete was so influenced by him. And boy, we had just an incredible conversation talking about Pete's journey from little old Hartford City to all the wonderful things he's doing. He is coming back around. They are doing a tour that's going to take him through the Midwest. They're going to be in Greensburg. I'm going to try and figure out a way to get them on a Friday night. I think Greensburg is Saturday on like July 19th, maybe. And I've got to find out a way when they're coming back through if I can get them here in Hartford City for a quick, I don't know. I'm going to find out. I'm going to try it. But check out Pete's story, man. It was so incredible. So awesome. And it connects with another one we'll be talking about here in a minute. But what a great story about how his time at Disney and meeting his wife. And boy, awesome stuff, man. Just love hearing those. And then we got into some letters to Santa. And so this comes from a thing that we would do at my mother-in-law's house where I just grab the paper and I'd start reading the letters to Santa from kids at the local schools. And I would read them verbatim, exactly how the kids wrote them. And so we just sit down, me and Addie and Jocelyn. Man, love to have my kids on here. I love my girls, man. They're so special. And I've learned so much from them. that, being able to just sit down with them and have a fun conversation, some of the dumb stuff we talk about and do. So check that out. It's just a fun episode, reading kids' letters. Ted Cluck, dude, guy is an absolute rock star. Ted, man, thank you for coming on and sharing twice. Y'all didn't hear the first one because, well, it's one that I didn't record. But then the next day, what a trooper. Ted jumps back on with me, and we have an entirely different conversation for 2 hours. Ted, I can't wait to reconnect with you again and just catch up, see where life is taking you right now. And we've got some other stuff Ted and I have been talking about. I can't talk about it yet because it is so much in the infancy stages of it. But I can't wait to see what happens with that. I was able to connect with one of my my best friend from my 20s and probably teens and 20s, AC Jones. And this guy is all over the place working for the electrical union, making sure we have electricity. Maybe not you specifically, but if you're a California listener or Puerto Rico listener, he is working for you, making sure you have it. And, he was here in Indiana and all over Florida and all over all the hurricane areas for so long. Now he's a supervisor. He's like flying around in helicopters, and all I could think of was Hawaii Five-0 or Magnum PI, seeing the helicopters flying around these island areas. And that's what he's doing. He's flying around in helicopters, checking out all the electrical power grid, making sure it's good to go. Speaking of things that are good to go, Jason Reynolds, once again, another classmate. Jason is a chef over at Ball State. We're just talking about his passion for cooking, his passion for food, and how that all began, and the fact that it connected all the way back with his, I think his grandmother, and cooking at like family events. How special, man. He gets to continue to live that special, that special opportunity to remember a loved one. A marijuana legalization in Indiana with an advocate. This guy come on and we talked for quite a while just about the work he is doing and the things that are happening within marijuana, THC, CBD, and how he has been a part of the legalization effort here in Indiana. His big focus is for medicinal purposes and to make sure that there is a medication available for those who need something to help them. Guys, take a listen to that and try to understand if whatever side you're on, that if your loved one or yourself were in need and the best option available was some form of THC marijuana derivative, and you couldn't legally have it, and your life is impacted by that, why is that? What is it that is stopping us from legalizing this for medical purposes? The research is out there. They've been doing it for so long. It's been utilized for centuries for medicinal purposes. I think we're overlooking the reality, and we have a jaded view of marijuana through campaign, or I don't know, campaign, but propaganda of what marijuana use looks like. It is very different than what I think we believe, or we've been trained to believe. So give that a listen, check it out. Derek Jones, your tribe is your vibe. And this guy is just going after it. And what a success story. Jason is a success story too. And I think Derek has taken all his cues from his big brother. But Ryan, I ain't leaving you out either, brother. I know you're out there. Hey, but Derek, man, your tribe's your vibe. And just talking about how having a partner in life, his wife, Megan, has been such an incredible impact on his life. One of my favorite things he was talking about on that sode was how when they had first started seeing each other and getting serious, they had talked about he had an opportunity to go to Miley Cyrus's house. No, I'm for real. and like hang out, watch a movie or a game or something. And Derek's like, well, if Megan wants to come, I'll come over. But if she doesn't, we're not going to come over. And he asked Megan. She's like, I came down here to hang out with you, not to go watch a movie at somebody else's house. Man, you talk about integrity, character, being who you are, being authentic. I don't know that I could have been authentic in that moment. I've been like, hell yeah, let's go. Right. But you've got someone with absolute character and integrity when they're like, no, I came here to hang out with you, not other people. And, one of the biggest stars in the world at the time is inviting you over to watch movies at their house and hang out. And you say no. You found a good one, brother. Keep up the good work. And hey, listen, being in a band is just something that I truly enjoyed. He recently posted that his neighbors came and shut him down, called the cops on him for playing out in his driveway as he prepares for the outdoor stage season with his band. And hey, buddy, it's just part of it. Yeah, hang that up. Put another mark on the wall. Good job. Speaking of bands, here we go on another band thing. We got Derek, Jerry Barker, Mike Wine all in a row here. But Jerry Barker, dude. So full disclosure, I felt like I was pulling it out of Jerry, trying to get him to open up. Man, what a great guy. He is out there jamming. He has an incredible thing going with his band. Jerry Barker and the Onion Cutters. Those guys, they are definitely tearjerkers, man. They'll make you cry. They're just so dang good. But Jerry's got some awesome stuff. Check him out. Don't hesitate. Find your way through it. Part 1 with Mike Wine. This is the hardest podcast I've done. I love Mike, and I know Mike is still struggling and trying to find his way through life. And but he's not a quitter, man. He's not a quitter. He keeps pushing forward. He keeps fighting on. Keeps loving his brothers, his sisters, his kids, his friends, and man, I can't wait to see what is next for Mike. I'm excited. I feel like he is in that spot where things are going to go his way and move forward for him. So love you, Mike. Thanks for coming on, brother, and sharing that. Hopefully we saved one life. That's all we hope to do, right? Take me to the spa with Patrick McDermott, Darren McDermott's younger brother. Patrick is just an incredible guy. Once again, another Disney story. Guy follows his love of his life to Disney, and next thing you know, the dude's running the spas at Disney World or wherever it was. I mean, wow, little old Hartford City to now Las Vegas, and just what a leader. And once again, it comes down to integrity. It comes down to doing what you say what you're going to do, and being true to who you are and how you do things. And there's no doubt that Ashley Beeman also embodies that. In Rise Above Your Raisin, Ashley shared with me a story about my own mother that just, it broke me down. I didn't know, and I didn't realize, I knew my mom was an absolute giver, but I didn't know that she had impacted so many people. And Ashley shared with me, how my mom had impacted her life and helped her through some things. And boy, what a great share that was. So I thank you for that. Thanks, Ashley. And man, we sat down for 2 hours and just talked about awesome stuff. It is loaded. And guys, you reacted in an incredible way to Rise Above Your Raisin. By far the most listened to sode. It's not even close. So thank you for your outpour and showing your support for Ashley and what she's doing there with her spa or boutique. I don't know, what do you call it? I don't want to call it a haircutting place. That sounds kind of redneck, but what is it called? Spa, boutique, beauty place? I don't know, but it's really cool. It's called the Viridian. It's in Hartford City, beautiful Hartford City, Indiana. But check her out. Lori Cheeseman, no back. Holy crap, man. Spending nearly 30 years at Chrysler and just sharing her story of becoming a top exec, man. I mean, for real. People from Detroit, like, I don't know, call Lori. How crazy is that? Who who in their mind right now is thinking, yeah, we don't think that. Like the people that end up in that situation, the Loris of the world, aren't sitting back going, oh yeah, I want to be that person that they call from Detroit when they're having an issue somewhere within Chrysler Corporation. Man, what a great leader. What a great teacher. She is just killing it. And speaking of teachers, the courage of creativity with Eric Fagan. What an artist. That guy, holy moly. If you haven't checked out Eric Fagan art, you are missing out. I absolutely love his artwork. I love his style. I love his motivations for it. Check his stuff out, folks. It is so amazing. Eric, thanks for coming on and sharing your story of how you got to where you are teaching kids, being a community leader, and creating memorable artwork to promote your city as well. Good stuff, man. Talking about promoting good stuff, Marquise McQuinnan with his Project Paradise. Went over, sit in his studio. We just real quick threw together a mic in between the two of us. Folks, I know the sound quality wasn't the best, but for a couple guys that just got together and within a couple minutes threw a mic out there, give that a listen. Check that out. I'd love to get back together with him. He is doing some awesome stuff. Just saw a video. He was out of state, I think in Florida somewhere, doing some work down there with his project. They've just moved into their own building. Things are on the up for Project Paradise. Check that out. Speaking on the up, state champs, Blackford Esports. Yeah, state champs. Blackford Esports team, Esports and Beyond with Jen Galton. And you talk about another coach. Here we go. Another coach, another educator, another leader, and is taking, a team from a little school, one of the smaller schools in the state, less than 500 kids in that high school, and taking them to a state championship in something where I don't think there's divisions. I don't think there is. I think it's kind of like swimming and some other things. And they're winning state championships out here through esports. For all the naysayers about esports, you better believe it, because they've got scholarships, kids going to college from Blackford County, Indiana, on esports scholarships, going to school, getting at minimum sometimes all school paid for through an esports. Who would have thought, man? Who would have thought? Those kids we went to school with back in the 90s that were playing video games all the time? Dude, sorry. You're just ahead of your time, man. You're a pioneer. It can be wrong. It can be not wrong and not right with Graham Smith. Graham, what a pleasure to be around. Graham is a great guy. Loved having him on the show. Loved catching up with him and seeing what he's been doing since our paths didn't no longer crossed. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Since we went in different directions. I mean, our paths weren't really crossing, but we were in anyway. But he's a family man, got a career, doing some awesome stuff, and still the same just caring guy that I remember being around the kids here in Blackford County back in the day and as their youth pastors. So great to catch up with you, Graham. If you haven't listened in on that, it was a great listen. That was a lot of fun. Andy Thorpe, mortgages, lending in a record store. Here we go with a couple people with record stores and real estate involved with Andy Thorpe and Ryan Reed. But Andy Thorpe is a lender with Ruoff. He has helped me through so much, and I wanted to get him on and talk about, just that lending process, and let's get some learning going. And then I know he has a record store. I made it to his record store. It's really cool. Check it out. Electric Crayon Records on South Tillotson in Muncie. But man, what a great guy. A lot to learn there. If you are someone who is trying to understand, how to get finance for a home, anything like that, give that guy a listen and give him a call. And then part 2, finding your way through it with Mike Wine. We kind of get into the post band years of Mike and I's band, Cuffed and Bucket, and talk about, his continuing struggles to to find his way through this life, being an addict, being someone who is active in that recovery process, and just trying to find his best life through all the tragedy that he's quite honestly put himself through. He's very he takes absolute ownership in that, and man, like I said, I love Mike and wish absolute best for him. 3R's, realtor, record store, and rad. You know, some people may not get the rad reference, but rad was a movie back in the late 80s. It was a BMX freestyle movie, and it was rad with an exclamation point at the end. And so I thought, man, Ryan and I had talked about the 3R's in his episode, but I wanted to put our own spin on it because he's a realtor, not a realtor, a realtor, and he owns a record store, and that dude is definitely rad. And interestingly enough, I don't know what his middle name is, but I hope it has an R in it. Maybe like Ryan Robert Reed. I don't know. I don't want him, sorry Ryan if I got that wrong, but how cool would that be if he's got the 3R's in his whole real estate thing, then the 3R's in his episode, and then 3R's in his name. That's craziness. But check that out, man. This guy is another former classmate, just getting it, making it real, and having a best life. And once again, someone chasing the love of their life all over the country, from California to Pennsylvania. What? I mean, man, I was so fortunate. I just had to run around Hartford City, Man, thanks for making it easy on me, Jennifer. Appreciate you. New friends with Tim Norris Jr., someone who was a great friend of my dad, and I'm so appreciative of that. He was our final guest for the season, and Tim and I sit down for quite a while and just talking, getting to know each other, and learned so much from him through that conversation. And we've had a lunch, kind of a coffee date since, and he's helped me get some video of my old band. Bucket. He is getting video of that put into a digital format for me so that I can share that out on the YouTube channel. But Tim, thank you so much for coming on, man. Like I said, everybody, I am so excited about this next season. Some of the guests that are coming on, their life experiences are just incredible. They've lived incredible lives. Ordinary people living incredible lives, telling their story and having a whole lot of fun doing it, and hoping that, through this sharing of stories, that we can help someone somewhere live their best life as well. So keep listening in, keep supporting this, and boy, give me feedback. I need the feedback. I need to hear from you. What do you want to hear? And I hear a lot of people say, hey, I want to hear more of the hard conversations. And I hear other people say, I don't want to hear any hard conversation. I don't want to cry in my car. It's the last thing I want to do on my way to work. But it's life. Life is tough, man. So I'm just going to keep going the direction we're going, and we'll see what happens. Tell your friends about it. Our listenership has doubled in the past 6 months. The followership has doubled in the past 6 months, and I hope we can do that again in this first 6 months of the year, or last 6 months of this year. Let's do that again. Let's see what that looks like when we turn the corner in January and move on into the last half of season 2. Keep checking it out. Keep sharing it. Thank you, guys. This is kind of my way of saying thank you. Is just giving you a quick one here. And yeah. Hey, thanks, everybody. I'm out.